Yes guys, welcome back to the half year recap. I'm Charlie J. Every 6 months I do one of these and look what I've got up to and what I've done. I know right now isn't quite technically exactly the midpoint of the year, that is July the 2nd, but it has just been my anniversary and my nan was also over. So we're a little bit late, but we're gonna get straight into things right now. We've got a little 2-camera setup, which is cool as well. Again, we'll get onto that in a bit as well. So firstly, January 2026, we started with a lot of work. January was a very, very busy month. If any of you have me on Substack, I did cover a bit about what I got up to as well on that too for January. But one of the things that we did in January was, it was called a baby opera. So with Opera Sonic, we were working with this project that was called the Baby Opera. We were filming that for a full week. I was also involved with this Celtic Bar as well, filming all across South Wales for that as well. So very, very, very busy with that. One of the things that happened musically in January was I started working on a collab project with a producer called Sonny Mac, he's based in Newport. He's got some sick beats, but I believe that'll be the next project to come out at the time of recording this. So that's cool, that's exciting. Went to a few different gigs as well. I went to see Dijon in London alongside Bethan, which was great, great show, great to catch Dijon as well. And then we also saw Kofi Stone and Barney Artist in Bristol too. And that was a great gig as always, but it was probably the tallest crowd that either me or Bethan have seen in our lives. Like I'm pretty tall, but I just could not see over anyone's heads at all for that show, but it was great nonetheless. But that is important because we will get back to that in a bit. I do actually have a poster somewhere over there which was signed by Barney Artist too, so shout out to Barney Artist, he's a great lad. Kofi Stone's a great lad as well, but again we have more to come with Kofi Stone. If you know anything about me, you'll know about that. And then finally at the end of the month I had a photo shoot with Chili Noir as well in Teddy's place. And that was great. I haven't done a professional photo shoot for myself in ages. I'm usually been the other side of the camera rather than in front. So it was great to have that and have some great press photos. And eventually these pictures would actually become album covers and single covers, which again you will see in a bit. So stay tuned for that. So that was January. Quickly went through that. Busy, but more on a work basis rather than my own sort of stuff. Then getting into February, February the 1st, so straight into it, we had the first gig of the year, which was in the Canteen in Bristol. As a lot of you know, gigs locally have slowed down a lot since, I'd say, 2023, 2022. Maybe, I think halfway through 2023, things started to change. So I'm kind of in a position where I'm taking pretty much as many opportunities to perform as I can. So yeah, I went down to the Canteen in Bristol. Great performance, great show, quite quiet to be fair, but just a good way to get back into practicing it as well. So I was happy with that. I actually created a stop motion page because a lot of people seem to like my stop motions on Instagram. So everything was there now in one place so people can go and see that. Stop motions again is a trend that comes on. I know at the end of last year I said I wanted to create more. I suppose stop motions is a way of creating more as well. Maybe it's not, music or like a music video, but it's still creativity and creating stories and all of this stuff. And I guess music does come into some of it. Someone actually commented saying that they love my sound design on my stop motions, so that's a good one. I had a panel discussion for some work as well in Newport in the Corn Exchange with Outline. Shout out to the people who work at the pub in the Corn Exchange, Alicia, Sam, the rest of the team. Although I'm not from Newport, they do provide me with a lot of opportunities, and something like this, it was great to sort of speak of my experience. I've done a lot around music as well as just creating music, so I feel like I do have a lot of experience, and it is nice to talk about that. So that's pretty cool too. After that, we went to see Ray in Manchester, me and Bethan. This was sort of, I can't remember, was this a late Valentine's sort of present thing, or it sort of tied into it because Valentine's Day was just before. A great Valentine's Day, lovely, spending time with Bethan, and great to be up in Manchester with her too. Ray was amazing, by the way. Ray was an amazing performance. Bethan He's more of a Ray fan than I am, but Ray had a full string section, full trumpet section, like we've got horn section, not trumpet section. But yeah, just a great performance. And I think you will see that, you know, did that inspire me to get a trumpet player in my own set last month? I don't know if it was directly because of that or if it was just part of it, but yeah, it was really good. So I was happy with that. I got announced for my first international showcase festival, which is really cool as well. At this point, I never performed internationally. I've never performed overseas. So I got an email from New School Rules, which I only applied for because I was speaking to Dave Acton and he said, oh, are you going to throw your hat in the ring to perform at New Schools? And I thought, oh, go on then, I'll do that. So I ended up getting the opportunity to perform. Unfortunately, this is an unpaid performance. And again, I will get more into that later, but exciting times, you know, to have that on the horizon, to be able to perform internationally. And if I'm right, this came just before I got confirmation to be supporting Kofi Stone, which is something I really, really wanted. Any of you who follow this page know that, you know, my journey as a musician, know I love Kofi Stone's music. I've seen him like countless times, I think it's like 5 or 6 times I've seen him perform. So I had, you know, confirmation in email that I was supporting him. He did actually message me before this to ask if I was, you know, still wanting to support because I did a video at the end of 2025, sort of vouching for myself. But until I had it like written in email that I would be supporting, like I wanted to, you know, make sure that was sorted before I was like got too excited. But yeah, that sort of started us into March then, because that was like, yeah, great way to end the month. And a great way to get the ball rolling for March, because a lot of March was preparation for this, as well as work. So I think the first thing to mention about March is what you're watching on now is the Sony a7 IV. I purchased the Sony a7 IV because it was about time that I upgraded some of my gear. I was shooting on a Sony a7S II for like the last, I want to say a couple of years or so. But yeah, I just needed something that was a bit better for photos as well as a bit better for videos. So I've got, like, for those who know camera stuff, 10-bit color, S-Log3 I can shoot on now with the A7 IV. For those who don't know camera stuff, it just means that I can, you know, color grade better, the autofocus is better, it's like easier to use, the battery lasts longer. It's a great camera. I really enjoy using the A7 IV. And because there was a new version of the camera that came out, the A7 V, I got it at a pretty decent price as well. And that sort of meant that all my content when it comes to promoting my music, but also working for others, has stepped up. So work I've done for Operasonic or work for other clients. And then also, for example, I started working with the Body Hotel. I've not had a chance actually to shoot things in person for them yet, but I've been doing some marketing for them, and I'm excited to use the Sony a7 IV with them as well. So yeah, lots going on with Operasonic. I think it was, they had Fringe Festival in Newport, and then also the Music Trail in Newport as well. In Wales, it seems everything seems to happen in March, and November seems quite busy as well. Like all the, I guess, end of tax year funding's got to be spent, so loads of festivals, loads of opportunities, people wanting me to film left, right and centre. Very, very, very busy time. But we will get back onto that because, again, it might sound kind of vague, but it did make me think when I was planning this video about what's actually important in terms of, you know, I guess progress for myself. But yeah, lots of the filming and stuff that was happening during March. Some for Anthem as well. Shout out to Anthem. I've had a lot of good work with Anthem. You know, helped me afford the new camera and also afford to put on a great show for Kofi Stone, which is the 27th of March. I got, you know, the set was filmed by my mate Kai Jordan. Shout out to him on my Sony a7 IV. We had Sarah Williams taking some pictures. Best show of my life. Best show of my life. It was so good. Like, the crowd was so amazing. Like, it was just great to have a crowd that was sort of seemed to be on your side and believe in you as well when you're performing. Like, sold out show at club. Amazing show. Kofi Stone is a lovely guy as well. His team are lovely. It couldn't have gone any better, you know, having Bethan there with me as well, to experience it, like actually having a proper green room, you know, and a proper, you know, like snacks and drinks and stuff, even on the rider. Like, I don't get a rider normally doing shows, so that was great, and the reception from it as well was just amazing. Like, just like I got like loads of people follow me after the show, people want to take pictures, just exhilarating. Like that's why I perform. Like, I love performing and getting that energy back off a crowd and sort of interacting with them, and it kind of reminded me partly why I'm doing all this. Like, again, I love writing songs. I love that feeling when you make something that's just a great track, but I do love performing as well. And I've really missed that in Wales these last few years, is just not having the opportunity to perform. So like, yeah, truly grateful for that. Once again, thank you to Kofi Stone and his team for giving me the opportunity to support him in Wales. Incredible, you know, front to back, incredible. Part of the show as well was showcasing a new single of mine, Check It On Me. With the show, I thought, you know, let's get the ball rolling, let's work on some momentum. I've got the Kofi Stone show, I've got an international showcase coming up, let's get the ball rolling. So Check It On Me, that became my next single, and I did actually perform that at the show, and the crowd seemed to love it. I'll put a clip up here when I was performing it. The crowd seemed to love it. And then at the start of April, that track came out. I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd of April I put it out, the song, which was great to have new music out as well, because before this, the last music I'd released that was new was a collab project I had with Alfie Appleyard, which a lot of you haven't checked out yet, so go and check that out. It's a good project. It's a good project. So it was great to have Checking On Me out in the wild. And then also came up to my birthday as well, 26 in 2026, pretty cool. I've never been to Brighton before, so me and Bethan went down to Brighton. We had a great time down there. Yeah, lovely. And then it was a case of coming back, finishing off the project then that Checking On Me was on. I decided on a title, Charlie. The project's very true to me. Originally we just called the Hip Hop Project, but I thought that was a bit kind of vague, maybe a bit wordy. So I guess Charlie's kind of vague too, but my name's Charlie, so I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool. I had to cut a couple of tracks because features didn't come around in time. I mean, I've been sitting on this project since the end of last year, for the most part, just waiting on a couple of features and a couple of bits that I needed to re-record. So that was kind of a bit of a learning process, I guess, was sometimes features don't come through, and that's okay. It's about what do you do when those features don't come through. Because I was sitting for ages on a couple of tracks just waiting for mainly singers to come through. And I know people are busy, so I don't hold anything against you know, people who didn't manage to get through in the time. Maybe they weren't feeling the track and didn't want to say no thank you. You know, that's another thing as well, I think, as artists. It's just sometimes you don't want to say no because it's like a cool opportunity, but if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it, and that's fine too. So the EP was 7 tracks, and I, you know, sent it off to Flipper to get mixed and mastered. Shout out to Flipper. He's always on it. He's always quick. He always does a superb job. So it was, yeah, getting that in motion too. I did a little bit of acting as well, in a short film with the Cardiff and Vale College students. So that was cool. That was the end of April. I've not really done any acting before, so yeah, that was nice. And finally in April, we booked a venue for the headline show. So the Canopy, because there's not many venues left really in Cardiff, especially if you're doing grassroots music, especially if you're doing Mobo music, music of black origin. You know, if you're a hip hop artist like myself, like, where can you book? So the Canopy were lovely. Canopy were great. You know, I booked them again. This next show originally was going to come from funding, same as the EP. Both of those things were supposed to come from some funding. I did not receive any funding this year. I received a little bit last year from Horizons, which helped me get the DJI Osmo, which is right in front of me. And I received a little bit the year before from Help Musicians, which helped me put out We're All Lost. But I did not get any funding for the release or promotion of Charlie, the EP that was, you know, coming out, that came out now, or the headline show that went alongside it. And both of those things are expensive. But as we'll find out, an international showcase festival is more expensive and I didn't get any funding for that either. So that's why you probably noticed there's a lot of work that's been going on this year outside of music, because I need to fund these things, and it is getting to that stage now where it's like, yeah, extra funding would probably help someone like myself. Yeah, May. So May, I got my new car. Time to upgrade from the Up that I had. The Up was tiny, lovely car, got me all up and down the country. But I got something a bit bigger, so that was cool. It's a cool car. It's a bit faster. The Up could not really accelerate at all, but now I've got 5 seats rather than 4, and it's something a bit more reliable. The Up had done over 100,000 miles. I'd had it since it was at like 30. So I'd driven a lot in it, and I was doing like close to 20,000 miles a year. I was like, yeah, it's about time I got something a bit more reliable for all these distances and journeys. And that did come in handy because I had the filming up in Focus Wales for Radio Platform as well. So I was up there filming, not performing at Focus Wales this year, but that's okay. I'd been there last year, and I think I got what I could from it last year. So I was there filming, up and back in the same day. Maybe I'm a madman, maybe that's what you got to do. Hotels are expensive nowadays. I know petrol is too, but you know, it's about saving costs at the end of the day. And then we announced the show with my full band. So we had Phil Court on bass, we had Addison on keys, we had Tom Lomax on guitar, Jed on drums because Alex couldn't make it, and then Joe Bentley we had on trumpet as well, because it was cool to have a horn section as a hip hop band. You know, it's quite rare to see a trumpet player in a hip hop band. Afrocluster do it, and that's funny enough where I met Joe. Was when he was performing with Afrocluster, so shout out to Afrocluster. But yeah, great to have that announced. Reese for support, because he's on my track Loving You, which is on the EP, and we also did that during the Kofi Stone performance too, which was cool. I started boxing again in May, which was cool as well. My cardio's not been brilliant. I've kind of neglected it, so it's nice to get back into that. There's a video I did with Blade from 0521 where I was talking about how I used to box 10 years ago a little bit, but I've got short arms, so I was never any good at it. But I thought, yeah, it was nice to get back into it. Unfortunately, it has stopped now, which is because it's the end of the amateur season. So I am looking for a new club, but you know, I will get back into it. I think it's important to keep your fitness up, and also to be able to feel confident in the ability to look after yourself and handle yourself. So that was in May as well. New School Rules performance, yes. That was the end of May. Me and Bethan also went to Amsterdam where we're here as well. And yeah, first two international performances. Lovely, really supportive environment. Great to see everyone there. Networking wise, I think it was all right. I'm not sure how I feel about networking events at the moment. I'm more about building a fan base rather than just networking. Because it's like one of those ones where it's like, I've done this independently for so long, and I think a lot of people probably feel the same. Is one person going to be able to step in and change your career, or is that down to work that you do yourself in terms of building? So that's what I'm thinking. A lot of this like headline show and stuff is about building a fan base. But yeah, maybe it was, like I say, lovely time over there. Great to meet all the other artists, but expensive. Long story short, it cost nearly $1,000 to go over there. You know, unless you've saved up £1,000, you can't do these types of performances all the time. But to be able to say that music has taken me overseas is sick. Like that's really cool. Like my music has taken me abroad performing. Lovely stuff. And then I think the final thing to mention here is I did put out a stop motion at the end of May. I've got a diorama up here actually, an Aliens themed one. And that stop motion has got more likes and more views than anything I've done with music, which is crazy. I think it's like 1,200 likes, like 20,000 views right now. Of course, there's the Kyle Beats video, which I was on, which got 4 million views, but I mean like on my own Instagram page. People love the stop motions. I'll just be honest. Maybe the algorithm's a bit better with them, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's important to mention that. I am planning on doing a bigger one actually next month. So we're going to go from there as well for that. Now for June. So for June, my TikTok profile, I'm not going to use the words, but it got limited. Limited is what I'm going to describe it as. I have 2 TikTok accounts, but one of them got limited, so I wasn't being shown on the FYP, and also I couldn't share content in my story. TikTok has actually been a big platform for me in terms of reaching new audiences, probably more so than anything else recently. Substack, I did mention that at the end of last year. Substack's not been great, to be honest. I might actually go back to MailChimp for doing, mailing lists rather than Substack. It's just not had the impact I thought it would, which is a shame. It's okay, but it is a little bit of a shame how that's happened with Substack. Maybe I need to post more on it, but it is what it is. So yeah, that was a bit strange. Like I found out with my show, for example, from TikTok, most of the people who were buying tickets were people that I didn't know. Partly because of TikTok, partly because I was putting up flyers everywhere. I was filming in, you know, all the student areas in like Cathays to create content, to try and get people engaged, to get people down, and then also putting flyers up around there as well. But yeah, I did all right on the ticket sales. I think I sort of, it was the second best I've done in terms of pre-show tickets for a gig, and again, it wasn't really a lot of people I knew. I guess it was some ways it's like, that's great because the promo works. In some ways it would be nice to have, like, for example, the Welsh music scene come together and be like, yeah, this is an amazing event from a Welsh artist in Wales. We should support it. And, you know, that didn't happen, and that's okay. That's okay. We had a great turnout and it was a great show. But like, I would have thought maybe something like this, this would have been perfect for like a radio interview, like BBC Radio Wales or something. Same with the Coldplay Stone performance too. But some of these times these things don't happen, and that's cool. The show itself was incredible. Great show. I think it's the best my music sounded on stage. The band, they did their thing. The band were amazing. And you can watch the whole performance as well if you're unable to make it on YouTube. Like, we filmed the whole thing and I edited it all. It was fairly expensive, don't get me wrong. I did lose a bit of money putting this show on. I think that's to be expected these days. Sold more merch than expected though, so that did help as well. So thank you to everyone who was there. Thank you to everyone who bought merch. And because of the promo for the show and the show itself, it actually secured me another show with the band up in Brecon in the Foundry. It's like getting the ball rolling again. And to be fair, this summer, like especially recently, I've done more shows recently than I probably have in the last couple of years, like combined, in Cardiff. Like, there seems to be little ones popping up here, there and everywhere. You know, I was doing Hudo Lounge Fest, I was performing at the Meeting of Styles Festival on the weekend, I performed in Portugal with Grow and Grind. So it's like, I've had a few shows cropping up here and there, and I think it is partly because I went out there and put on my own show. And then the EP released at the same time with that, which we will get onto. So I think everything just tying together. Momentum is a big thing. Anyone out there watching, listening, whatever, momentum is important. That carries you forward. And as soon as you start getting like a little bit of movement, that keeps going and going and going. It gets easier and easier. So yeah, sometimes it is a case of putting on your own show to get these things done. I hate being a promoter, by the way, but if that helped me get things moving, you know, helps people come to the show, then I guess it's got to be done. As for the EP, Charlie, the EP is doing great. I did put On My Way on the EP. Everyone seems to love that song. It's got like, I don't know, 16, 17,000 views, listens on Spotify. TikTok seems to love it. Headphones I'm currently pushing as a single. They get played on BBC Radio Wales, thanks to Adam Walton as well. Which reminds me, I need to actually fill in the performances on the PRS. Do your PRS artists get your money for your performances that you can get. And yeah, the EP is great. I love how it sounds. It's probably my favourite project I put out to date. I love the production on it. It's not all me. There's a few different people. Bailey Daniel, Grave McGraw produced some stuff as well. And yeah, it's just like a very sort of hip hop project, which I like. It's good to go back to those roots. The project I did with Alfie was a bit more trappy. So I think it's nice to have that sort of change up. But I do need to shoot music videos for it. I think looking forward, I need to shoot more music videos because I'm kind of in one for a collab I did with Plant Lives. Ethan from Bother Studios got me involved with that project. But I need to do more music videos to help promote this EP. But yeah, that was June. My nan was also over, and I think it's nice to sort of wrap up with that it's my second anniversary. I think it was cool that the first time I did this video, I wasn't even officially with Bethan at the time. Our anniversary is the 3rd of July. So the video came out on the 2nd of July, and it was like the day after that I asked her to be my girlfriend. So we're 2 years into it now. So it's cool to sort of have that come full circle. And you know, we had a lovely anniversary. We've been to the exhibition for Aardman as well as part of that. You know, lovely meal. Yeah, I know Aardman's like, well, what's that got to do with anniversary? We both like Wallace and Gromit, so it's cool. And I was actually making a cookie pie for her rather than doing this video on the 2nd of July. So, you know, that's pretty cool as well. I never saw myself as a baker, but I made something cool. But yeah, that being said, that's the first half of the year so far. Now for potentially the most important part, the reflection. So I think the thing I set out to do this year was create more. I have put out 7 songs, 5 of them which are new, which I think is actually a little bit less than I usually aim for. I usually aim for about 12 songs in a year. 5 new songs would be less than the 6. We're 6 months in, so I need to do that more. I think I've been all right with terms of creating stop motions. I've not made enough beats. I think I need to make more beats. I'd love to make more beats. And I'd love to do more music videos for the songs that I've currently got out to help promote them more. TikTok still seems to be doing well. I actually believe now that I'm out of this limited sort of, my account being limited. I think it's fixed itself now. I've got the normal reach. So that's good. So we're going to keep pushing that more. I think the one thing that I am aware of is I don't want the Kofi Stone support slot to be the highlight of my career. I know that sounds a bit strange at first, but it's like, that was incredible. Like, incredible opportunity. And, you know, one of the biggest performances I've done to date. Probably the second biggest performance I've ever done. But I don't want that to be the pinnacle. I want to go further than that. I want to be on bigger stages, reaching more people. And, you know, making even, you know, better music than I currently have. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Charlie as a project. But I want to make even better songs that resonate better with people. The next EP that I've got with Sonny Mac is in the works, and that should be out before the end of the year. I've got confidence in that. But I do need to do more to, you know, like, again, music videos, promo stuff as well, to sort of build up the sort of world around that project. In terms of everything else, yeah, I enjoy stop motions. I should probably do more. I've got better equipment now, better camera, better dioramas, you know, all of that stuff. So I will continue doing that too. I think the work balance is an important one to mention. I have been busier than ever with work, but I can't always remember what I've been doing with the work. So I guess maybe it's more intention with what I do with the work. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm reflecting on the first 6 months of the year, and some of those things I can't remember, which what I filmed or what I did for clients. Maybe they're all blurring into one a little bit. So it's a case of maybe more intention with my work. That maybe goes for my own work as well, to actually get more stuff out there. I am sitting in a couple of tracks I could just put out if I wanted to, but I don't think it's about that. I think it's about building. More collabs. I want to do more collabs. Again, I know I just spoke about how I've been let down, not let down as such, but the project got delayed because of collabs. But maybe it's a case of just writing parts for artists and just running with it. You know, actually booking a studio for them to get in there and all of that. I think collabs are important. People like collabs. It helps reach, you know, new audiences. More shows further afield. I've been lucky with shows in Wales, but maybe I need to actually reach a bit further and do shows across the bridge more, Bristol more. Birmingham I've never performed at. I'd love to perform in Birmingham. Like, yeah, not perform there. Maybe more shows in London. Haven't performed in London since 2023. So that's something to consider too as well. But yeah, I think I just need to get a bit more on track and a bit more focus with my work. That's the sort of main thing in terms of, yeah, just looking forward. Again, it might be a bit vague, but like, yeah, I think that's the plan. So yeah, that's been the first half of the year. This is the 6 month recap. And if you've got any more questions, let me know. If you want to know how I did something, send me a message. That's cool. I'm always happy to help. I've been Charlie J, and hopefully you're enjoying Charlie. Give it a listen. And if you've not listened to Gas Me Up as well, the mixtape with Alfie Appleyard, make sure you check that one too, because I think a few people missed that. And like I said, plenty more to come, so stick around. And thank you once again. So big love.